Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the IQ Math on the Four Corners, teaching the truth and sincerity. This is Thasha Require Math of the GMS Dallas camp, coming at you with a brief impromptu. I've been reading this Wisdom of Solomon. It's been weighing on my spirit. So the Spirit's basically telling me to bring it out, and call how about Shemi all shot for the understanding. Hey, man, I pray I can be edified. I pray that the elect are edified as well. So I'm going to jump straight into it, all right? This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 6. It says, for wisdom is a loving spirit, all right? Wisdom is a loving spirit and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words, for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is witness of his reigns, and a true beholder of his heart. It says, and a hearer of his tongue. All right, I'm going to reiterate that again. All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 6. It says, for wisdom is a loving spirit. All right, wisdom loves her own. Wisdom loves the ones that was given unto her when that was the nation of Israel. Okay, the nation of Israel was given unto wisdom, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, which consists of the 12 tribes. Okay, but continuing on, it says, and will not acquit a blasphemer. All right, of his words. It says, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. All right, so let's look up the word blasphemer. All right, let's go to Salakia. I got to pull up right here. Blaspheme. It says to speak impulsively. All right, or Salakia, to speak impulsively, or irreverently, Salakia, all right, of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and scared things. It says blasphemer, to blaspheme. Modern French, blasphemer, all right, which in the Latin also meant revile, or to reproach, or to blame. All right, so someone that is being reproached, all right, or and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. It says, for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is witness of his reigns. So Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai already knows how he will conduct himself. Okay? It says, and a true beholder of his heart. All right? Because he already knows what you're going to do. He already knows how you're going to conduct yourself. All right? It says, and a true beholder of the heart, and a hearer of his tongue. Okay? Because in that, I'll pull it, Ecclesiasticus chapter 37, verse 18. It says, four manners of things appear, good and evil, life and death, but the tongue ruleth over them continually. All right, so the tongue, that privily member, that small privily member, ruleth over all the accesses of life. Okay, and how you conduct yourself. All right, your anastrophe, in proper sense. But going back, reading that for wisdom is a loving spirit and will not acquit a blasphemer, or a liar of his words. For Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is witness of his reigns, and a true beholder of his hearts. So he already knows the wickedness and deceit that's going to come out of your mouth. All right. He says, and a beholder and a true beholder of his heart and a hearer of his tongue. All right. Now, who else do we know that do these things? Esau. Esau is a blasphemer. Okay. How about Shimei Shai already knows his heart. All right. How about Shimei Shai was the one that gave him that. The men of sin being revealed. As it says in this, better yet, I'll just pull a couple precepts. All right. This is John. This is John chapter 8, verse 44. It says, ye are of, and this is in red, so this is Yahweh Shai speaking. All right, it says, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. All right, it says, he was a murderer from the beginning. All right, Cain and Abel. All right, Cain killed Abel, so he was a murderer from the beginning. It says, and abode not in the truth. All right, he abode not in the truth. That means that he took the things of Yahweh by Shimei Shai and casted it behind him. All right, and I'll pull a precept on that. It says, because there is no truth in him. Because there is no truth in him when he speaketh a lie. Whenever he blasphemes, all right, he speaketh of his own, because he said, "Am I not? I am not my brother's keeper." That was a lie, all right, because he was Cain, all right. So continuing on, it says, "For he is a liar and the father of it." He was the one that first lied. All right, so he's the father of lies. All right, but I'll on that precept I'll pull Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. The points in 11, but I'll start at verse 10. It says, "But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous, and forsaking Yahweh by Shemel Shai. For whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and his hope is vain, their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable." All right, so with him being that liar, with him blaspheming, or because blasphemy is outside of the temple. All right, whenever you're speaking ill will or wickedness. All right, and I pulled that in Wisdom of Solomon 3 because of Salakia. Let me go back to it. Because the ungodly knoweth not the things of wisdom. All right, and they shall be punished according to their own imaginations. Their own thoughts are going to condemn them. Okay, but going back unto this Wisdom of Solomon 1, I'm going to start at verse 7. It says, "For the spirit of Yahweh by Shemel Shai filleth the world, and that which containeth all things hath knowledge of his of the voice." So it says, for the spirit of Yahweh by Shemel Shai filleth the world. It says, and that which containeth all things hath knowledge of his voice. And who containeth all things, from Yahweh by Shemel Shai down unto the nation of Israel, because wisdom was given unto the nation of Israel to understand all the knowledge, that is upon the face of the earth. So that wisdom was passed down. Okay? And whenever you receive the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you have the voice of Yahweh by Shemel Shai, because wisdom came out the mouth of Yahweh by Shemel Shai, as it says in Ecclesiasticus chapter 24, verse 8. Better yet, I'll pull it. It's Ecclesiasticus chapter 24. I'll start at verse 8. Just to get straight to the point, it says, "So the Creator of all things gave me a commandment, and He that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, Let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thine inheritance in Israel. He created me from the beginning, before the world, and I shall never fail." Okay, so wisdom has been here, with Yahweh Shai from the beginning. All right, and we can pull another precept going into that in that Proverbs chapter 8. I'll start at verse 29. The points in verse 31, I perceive. It says, when he gave to the sea his decree that the waters should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth, there I was by him, as one brought up with him. So wisdom was there with Yahweh Shai, as they were creating the world with him and the Alahayim. Okay, as it says in that Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, it says, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him. Okay, verse 31, it says, is it verse 31? It says, rejoicing in the in the inhabitable parts of his earth, all right, because the earth was given into the hands of the wicked for a short season, but it abodeth with Yahweh Shemi Shai forever. All right, so whenever he comes back, he's going to take back which is his. All right, it says, and my delight were with the sons of men. All right, so it's going back to the nations of Israel. So let's go back to that Ecclesiasticus chapter 24, verse 8, and read down a little further. Okay, it says, "So the Creator of all things gave me a commandment, and He that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, Let thy dwelling be in Jacob." All right, those ones that she delighted in, and thine inheritance in Israel. Okay, he created me from the beginning, before the world, and I shall never fail. Verse 10, it says, in the holy tabernacle I served before him, and so was I established in Zion, because that's where the tabernacle is. It rests in the nation of Israel. All right, he doesn't deal with these other nations. Call Holoyim like how about Shemi Al Shai. Okay, but going back into that Wisdom of Solomon, it's like Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 verse 7. It says, for the spirit of Yahweh Shemi Al Shai filleth the world, and that which containeth all things hath knowledge of the voice. So that's Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shemi Al Shai. Verse 8, it says, therefore he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid, neither shall vengeance, when it punisheth, pass by him. All right, because the vengeance that is coming unto Esau is of him when he touched the apple of Yahweh Shemi Shai's eye, which is his elect, which is his chosen, because he didn't give them he gave them rule for a short season, as it says in that Revelation chapter 12 verse 12. Okay. So vengeance will not pass by Esau, so he's going to have to taste it. He's going to have to be brought low, as it says in that Deuteronomy chapter 33. He's going to have to be put on the bottom once again, all right, because he has lifted up the head. This is his short season, okay? But Continuing on, verse 9, it says, "For inquisition shall be made unto the counsel of the ungodly." All right, and that word inquisition, um, one second, I think I got it here. Inquisition. All right, this is the word inquisition in the Edamon online. All right, inquisition. It says judicial investigation. All right, so a diligent search. All right, the Most High is going to seek him out. All right, an act or process of inquiring. All right, so he's under the microscope right now, and that's a joy because that means that our salvation is nearer than we once believed. All right, but continuing on, it says, I'll read 9 again. It says, "For inquisition shall be made unto the councils of the ungodly, and the sound of his words," because it says up in that 6, it says, "and a hearer of his tongue," and it says here in 9, it says, "and the sound of his words shall come unto Yahweh Shemi Shai for the manifestation of his wicked deeds." And you know, one of those wicked deeds that he did, which Yahweh Shemi Shai is acquiring in hearing, is whenever he tried to play, whenever he played devil's advocate with the nation of Israel by giving them the things that they can sin, so they will sin, and then turn around and said that better yet, I'll read it. This is Jeremiah chapter 50. I'll start at verse 6. And I'll read fast. It says, "My people have been lost sheep. All right, their shepherds have caused them to go astray." So Esau has caused us to go astray because he knew the law, statutes, and commandments also. All right, because he forced himself into our book. All right, and since he knew how to make us fall. Okay, and I'll pull another precept after this one, going into that Judith. Okay, he said, it says, "My people hath been lost sheep; their shepherds caused them to go astray. They say, they have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill, which are governments. Mountains are large governments, hills are small governments. All right." They have forgotten their resting place because they are choosing to go to these other nations instead of following the will, strength, and power of Yahweh Shemi Shai. Okay, continuing on. Verse 7, it says, "All they that found them have devoured them." And that's another precept in that Second Maccabees 2. Bob Kushai pulled that after this again. It says, "All they that found them have devoured them." It says, and their adversaries said, "We offend not." And that's what Esau is saying right now. We haven't done anything wrong. All right, like the woman that wipes her mouth and says that she has not sinned. That adulterous, murmuring bitch. Salaki. It says, "We have offended not, because they have sinned against Yahweh Shemi Shai, the habitations of justice, even Yahweh Shemi Shai, the hope of their fathers." All right, and the only reason why we have sinned is because we have been taken from our righteous spot. We have been cast down, as it says in Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. It says, "And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine inheritance from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou hast known not. It says, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. And that fire has burnt for a long dispensation of time, but Yahweh Shemi Al Shai wants to bring his children back, as it says in that Baruch chapter 4. Okay? But let me pull some of those precepts that I was quoting. I think it's First Maccabees. Is it First Maccabees chapter 2 verse 10? Yes, it says, what nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoil? All right, because all these nations that came together in that Psalms chapter 83, in that Psalms chapter 83 verse 5. All right, it says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, which are these nations. It says the tabernacle of Edom, which you know Edom, that's our number one enemy, and the Ishmaelites, which was supposed to be our cousin, and Moabites. Well, pretty much call how about Shemi Al Shai, and the Moabites and the Hagarenes, Gabal, Ammon, and the Amalekites, which the Amalekites is Edom. So it says Edom twice. All right, the Philistines with the inhabitations of Tyre. All right, those are those Africans. Ashur also is joined with them. All right, it says they have opened the children of Lot, Selah. All right, so all these nations have made a tumult to come up against us. All right, and I'm gonna go to that Judith. Salakia, I know I'm going everywhere, but it's just a lot of history that you have to hit, I'll start at verse 18. It says, but when they departed from the way, which he appointed them, which was the nation of Israel, they have, they left their resting place, right? So, but when they have departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore. It says, and were led captive into the land that was not theirs, which is the Babylonian or Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians, or the northern tribe that went into captivity in that Second Ezra chapter 13 verse 40. Hoshea, king of the Assyrians, has so it says here that and were led away captive into a land that was not theirs, which were those two lands that took the northern and the southern kingdom. It says, and the temple of Yahweh Shemi Al Shai was cast to the ground. So these other nations came in and destroyed the resting place of Yahweh Shemi Al Shai because we went off. We went off.